and welcome to the Center for Economic Research and Teaching, CIDE. We're really glad to have you all here. I guess two bits of housekeeping first. If you can please give your presentations on USB, especially if you're presenting in this first panel, to Tanya Quintero, so she can load them up on the computer while giving the official words of welcome. And the second is an announcement. Some of you have asked about Wi-Fi. We made a deliberate decision not to have Wi-Fi, so people aren't checking in. Just kidding.
Really scared. So censor's going on.
The network is Wi-Fi CIDE, and the password is capital W1, lowercase f1, asterisk CIDE 2015. That should work. Good. I don't know if you guys remember, there was that great Giants, San Francisco Giants team from 1989. The first baseman, Will Clark. And his nickname was Will the Thrill. And they asked him, like, Will, why is your nickname the Thrill? And he said that when he was a rookie, just coming up from the minor leagues, that he would walk around the locker room just saying, I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm so thrilled. He had this kind of Mississippi farm boy accent. Said, I'm so thrilled to be here. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm really thrilled to be here. I'm really thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled that you guys are here in Mexico City. I'm thrilled to be at CIDE. I'm thrilled to be doing what I do. And it's a great feeling, and I just hope it never goes away. And anyway, I'm really, truly grateful for all of your being here, making the trip. I would also like to say that we arranged for extra traffic this morning so you guys have an authentic Mexico City experience. Good. Let me just give you, I think, a few words of introduction to the conference, a little bit of the background, and then some announcements, and then I'll present the people who are going to follow me. By way of background, I think there are two really relevant antecedents. And the first is that as a result of kind of an ongoing dialogue that the Division of International Studies, which is where I am and sponsoring the conference, and the administration, we spent several years kind of trying to define the identity of the Division of International Studies, and a product of that is that part of our identity is studying human rights. And this is part of the identity that's orienting our research and our hiring. And this conference today, I think, is also a manifestation of the commitment on the part of the Division of International Studies and the part of CIDE itself to human rights. But not only the study of human rights, but we're trying, I think, as a public institution, to actually influence the debate over human rights in the country. And more than influence the debate, we're trying to change things, right? So we're trying to be, I think, a sort of engagé scholarship. And I think the second relevant antecedent is a collaboration that a project, sort of the signature product of the division, which is Mexico, the Americas, and the World, and the Human Rights Perceptions Polls. And that came about, when was it, Jim? Around 2011, 2012. And Jim Ron, whom some of you may know, was here as a visiting professor and said, look, I want to do some human rights polls. And I said, well, we've got this poll here. Let's see if we can, collaborate. And Mexico, the Americas, and the World is a biannual poll that's carried out in Mexico every 2 years since 2004, and in other Latin American countries that kind of have the money to do it, right? And so in 2012, we put some human rights questions on, really for the first time that we kind of delved into the topic, in Mexico, Colombia, and Ecuador. In 2014 and 2015, we expanded the poll to 7 countries. Those 3, plus Argentina, Chile, Peru, and Brazil. And we also did some standalone projects. Jim said, I want to do some polls, but I don't know how to do them, so could you help? And I said, well, sure, what do you want me to do, the questionnaire? He said, no, I want you to travel to Mumbai and to Casablanca, and can you do that? And I said, and Lagos. And I said, twist my arm, right? So we've been doing these human rights perceptions polls, and as when we started doing it, we sort of started to look around and see, well, who else is studying human rights using survey research? And it turns out that there aren't really a lot of people. I mean, I know that there's some notable omissions from this conference, but I think the people, a lot of the people who are doing it are here today with us, and I'm really happy and proud, I guess, that we could get all of you guys together. And so we started thinking about, so we're doing these surveys, and not a lot of people are out there doing them, but who is really the sort of intended users of these surveys? Clearly our academic colleagues, but also activists, people who are on the ground trying to change human rights in their countries. So we said, well, we think that what we're doing might be useful, but is it? Are people using it? We really don't know. So the big thing, and I think really one of the unique things about this conference, one of them is, first of all, getting people who study human rights through surveys, right? And the other thing is getting people who are potential users of this data, right? So we have people, I guess, from the academic side, from the activist side, and not a few of you who are on both, right? They're kind of the nexus, the fulcrum, the hinge between these two worlds. So we are really, really happy that you guys are all here. Some housekeeping stuff. We've made the Wi-Fi announcement. Is everyone on already? Great, you guys are quick. We have some swag bags that we've passed out. If you haven't gotten one, go get it. And I'd like to comment on the contents. We have a binder of information about CIDE in Spanish. For those of you who don't speak Spanish or read Spanish, it's really easy. You just take any word in English and add an O on the end. And you're reading Spanish. I don't know if that information is available in English. I tried to find it. But the other contents of that binder, let me just say a word about CIDE. We're a public institution. We report directly to the Mexican equivalent of the National Science Foundation, the CONACYT. But it's a really kind of sui generis institution. We're sort of a hybrid between, I think, and maybe my boss, Lorena Ruano, can amplify on this a little bit, but sort of a hybrid between a publicly funded think tank and a liberal arts college. A lot of people, a lot of graduates of ours go on to work in government, so in that sense we're kind of like my French is swallowed, the école des hautes études. Yes, please say that correctly.
Grande école.
Yes. So that's who we are at CIDE, and it's part of what we think part of our mission is to contribute to the scholarship of human rights. Now, so that's CIDE, and we have a little bit of information about CIDE. There's some other readings that you guys have written in Open Global Rights. And we also have a CD-ROM, which has the reports from the Human Rights Perception Polls, and also some of the more relevant reports from Mexico, the Americas, and the world. Those are, it's a broader survey about public opinion and international relations, but the more recent ones have some chapters on human rights that would possibly be of interest to you guys. And I think before I hand over the microphone to other people, let me just, I think some words of thanks are in order. One is to CIDE itself for financing the event. We have some co-sponsors who have also kicked down, and that's Stassen Chair, the University of Minnesota, and Open Global Rights, whose editor Archana Panja is somewhere around here. And with organizing the conference, we have a list of acknowledgments also, and there are a lot of people that have done it, but I would be especially remiss if I didn't mention Tanya Quintero, who's been, stand up please, she's been wonderful, and Archana Panja is also very helpful, especially in getting together the webpage. So without further ado, I think what we were going to ask, I think Jim to say a few brief words of welcome, briefer than mine, I hope. And then Dr. Lorena Ruano Gomez, who's chair of the International Studies Division. She got her PhD in International Relations from Oxford, and I hasten to clarify, not Oxford, Mississippi, but Oxford, England. And she is one of the foremost experts in Mexico on Europe and the European Union, student of kind of international organizations and trade. And we are lucky to have her today because she's been busy, among other things, on the interview circuit with Syria, and before that with the referendum in Scotland. So we're very honored to have her here, and I take it as a sign of the Division's commitment to human rights. But before we turn over the microphone to her, let's use Jim on really quick.
Okay, so thank you all for making the trek. I know it's not easy. It was a long flight for some of you, and the traffic was challenging and so forth. But this is really a unique moment. I just want to say a few words about Open Global Rights, which is funded by the Ford Foundation for the past 3 years and by the University of Minnesota and the University of Ottawa. And what we're trying to do is precisely what we're doing today, which is to bring social scientists, activists, funders, and other stakeholders of the international human rights movement together to brainstorm about new ways of doing things. We've done this on issues such as human rights from religion, funding for human rights, and today we're doing the surveys in human rights. And these are meetings that don't happen. If you're a veteran of the human rights movement, you know that it's very rare to sit down with mainstream top-line academics, top donors such as Emily Martinez or Aaron Beck from the Dozier Fund, and then campaign pollsters such as Dalia Shendland, who's a political campaign strategist. It works sometimes with human rights groups, but this isn't necessarily where she spends a lot of her time. And so each of us bring to this meeting a very unique perspective, and it's a rare and wonderful occasion. I want to thank CIDE for putting up 90% of the money and Ford Foundation for putting up the rest.
Who's got my numbers?
Lorena Romano.
Hi, I have to take the microphone, otherwise you won't see me. So, welcome to CIDE. I'm Lorena Ruano, I'm the director of the Department of International Studies at CIDE. I want to give you a very warm welcome, and on behalf of our director, Sergio Lopez Ayón, who couldn't come because now he's got another 10 meetings lined up today. So he asked me to welcome you, to give a few words about CIDE and about how this project is important for us. CIDE is a public institution. We do research and we do some teaching. We teach undergraduates, but mainly graduate programs in public policy, in economics, in generally the social sciences. But we also do law and we do history. There's a debate about whether history is a science or not. I won't get into that. So we have 6 departments: economics, public policy, history, law, politics, and international relations. So I'm the head of international relations. And in my department, we have pushed the agenda of human rights. It's interesting because the confluence of these 2 topics, human rights and polls, was not intended. It just happened. And it happened because this force of nature, called Jim Rohn, arrived in our department and put the people who were working on public opinion and international affairs to work with the people doing human rights. And he was interested, especially in how these norms are adapted by the NGOs and by the general public. These international norms are or not actually absorbed by the society and internalized. This is an issue of socialization. Human rights issues had before been treated more by lawyers, more by sociologists, ethnographers, but not so much by politics and international relations people. So for us, this agenda is important because it is innovative. It really creates value, and it creates value also because we have people collaborating in this project. It's not some isolated scholars' ideas, but it's a group of people that has been formed around Jim's work and around David's work that has really come to produce a lot of things, not just papers, not just academic papers, and this is also very important to note, but also contribute to the website, to Open Global Rights, to have a dialogue with NGOs, a dialogue with activists, a dialogue with people who are interested in this issue. And what for me is important is that Jim had a very interesting question is, well, are these norms internalized locally or are they not? And we have been working, well, not me, but David and the team of Mexico, Las Américas y el Mundo, have been working exactly on asking the public what they think about international relations. So there is a fit, and I'm very happy that these two guys got together and worked together and keep working together. I have encouraged it myself, and I will keep on encouraging it because I think that it has been very productive for the department. I'm really, really, really grateful for Jim. He's an affiliated professor to our department, and I think he's been the most engaged affiliated professor we've ever had. Normally professors get the affiliation and then they work somewhere else and then remember about CIDE sometime. But definitely Jim has been really working with our faculty and working with us. So I'm very thankful for him for organizing this today. I'm thankful to you for making all the way up to CIDE. It's complicated to come here. It's very nice, you'll enjoy your day here. But coming here is an ordeal. Getting out is also an ordeal. But we'll treat you well. And I'm sure that you're going to have the most productive session because we have an amazing group of people today with so many different skills, but with one common interest. And that, I'm sure, will create an enormous synergy and a great exchange of ideas. So I won't take your time, which is valuable, anymore. Let me just tell you that this is your home. Anything you need, I'm here to help, to assist, to accompany the effort. And I want David in particular to feel supported by the department and by CIDE.
Lorena, thank you so much for your gracious words. Encouraged, I think, is a really generous way of putting it. You're prodding and